Murray, what can the arts reveal about creativity and the creative process?
I think that art is a process. It's always developing. And I think the process itself is part of the meaning. So, for example, a play, which is the art form I'm most familiar with, is always developing. So each night it's different. Every performance, because it's a symbiotic relationship with an audience, every audience is different, and you've got all those individuals out there. So one audience might laugh a lot at something and another audience doesn't laugh at all, but they laugh at something else. And you have this respect for the mystery of the audience, if you like, and the mystery of the individuals as a kind of wonderful unknown factor. So it's not like a set work. I've been involved in quite a lot of films, and a film is fixed, but a live theatre has a wonderful sense of process. So an actor will go out there, and famously, I think it was Laurence Olivier, who, when he played Othello, he gave the most electrifying performance. One of the best he'd ever given in one particular performance. And afterwards, somebody found him in tears in the dressing room, and they said, "What's the matter? You were absolutely brilliant." He said, "Yes, but I don't know why." I don't know why. Yeah. Because something happened that night. And I've seen that with actors. I've worked with a lot of different actors, and famous and unknown actors. And I love the process. And I think it's part of our own spiritual journey. We're always changing. And that is very, very important.
What you're describing is creativity interactionally, where the creative person is interacting with the environment, the audience, or some other mechanism. But creativity often is a very solitary thing when you're writing a play by yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
I do writing as well, and I know the tensions and the struggles and the occasional sense of euphoria that comes out of this. So how do you deal with that personal sense of the creative process?
Well, this is very important, I think, the ability to be in solitude rather than loneliness. And solitude is enormously powerful artistically. And one of the problems in the modern world, there was actually an article I read in a paper recently about the problem of the open plan office. There was a certain kind of ideological thing that, if you could just put everybody interacting together, you were going to get better results. But actually, from a creative point of view, solitude, sometimes extreme solitude, is far more fertile. Then, in my case, I get both, because I spend many months on my own writing a play, but then I'll spend time in theatres with actors.
Sure. What then of that personal process where you are in solitude, where you struggle, where you have sessions of despair and elation? What is that? What do those experiences tell us about the mental force that is required to generate the creativity?
I don't know who it was who coined the phrase deep work, but we need to go deep, right down, to power drive down. And I think many forces in society will prevent us from doing that.
So go through your own creative process when you're struggling to do something new, and you know the difference between when you feel it, when you got it, and when you don't.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very interesting for me because it's almost like a trance-like state. So one of the very practical things is I won't listen to any news, go online. I will not expose myself to the outside world at all. I get up in complete silence. When I'm writing a play, I have my breakfast in silence. I might walk outside. I might walk the dog, but it's absolutely without anything really from the outside world except nature and the power of nature itself. I'll walk to my office, which is literally 100 meters away from my house, looks out over the sea. Amazingly, although I've got a fantastic view, when I'm writing a play, I block out the view because I can't write two films at once. There's too much happening out there. It's a play in itself, the world of the heron and the birds and everything that's there. And that loneliness is something I have to make a contract with. It's like the solitude is intense, if you like, but I'm not going to get anywhere unless I have at least 4 or 5 hours of just total aloneness. And showing up is very important, just being there, because you can have a completely hopeless day. You can have another day when it all takes fire, if you like, catches fire, but not to worry too much, just to allow the flow. It is a kind of trance at its best.